In this video, we're testing the RS4 Mini and its new intelligent tracking module right on the top there with the Blazar Apex 35mm t1.8 anamorphic lens. It's a 1.33 squeeze anamorphic lens that has autofocus. Super raw. We're just testing both things for you to see what they look like. Here's the video.
This little device right here has a camera on the front, and this is an intelligent tracker that attaches to the top of this right here, which is the RS4 Mini. And this device goes right on top, just here like that, and it locks in, but it is held on with magnets that you can detach just by pushing the two buttons there. Let's clip that back on, and you'll see that that bit there turns red. Now watch what happens when I put my hand up. It turns green. And now, using this angle, which is already filming me, it will track me wherever I move in the frame. It's because this has the intelligent tracker on there. Now watch what else I can do. If I do this gesture, it'll stop recording. Just give it a second. So obviously now it's stopped recording on that camera, so you have me in this angle. But let's start recording again by doing the same thing. Two fingers up. Little delay. And then it starts recording again. I wanted to show you that in real time just so you can see how long it takes. Now there is a little bit of a delay between when you put your two fingers up and when it starts recording. I asked DJI about that and they said it's done on purpose to give you an opportunity to get into the correct filming position to, I guess, minimize editing. It would be nice though if you could potentially change that in the settings.
Editor Chris here. Now you might be looking at this and wondering, well, hasn't this been possible for a while already with your phone? You put your phone on top of the gimbal and track it using your phone's camera? Yes, it has, but you couldn't really do that with the RS3 Mini because it wouldn't support that weight. And honestly, this is way easier. This is just a thing you attach to it. It's good to go. You don't have to worry about cables or anything like that, loading up any other apps. It's just a piece of hardware attaches to the gimbal and you're good to go. It keeps the size down and it's a lot easier.
So the idea of this video is to show you a really raw, kind of hands-on demo of how this system works, what's different compared to the original RS3 gimbal, RS3 Mini right here, because they've improved all of the complaints that everyone had with this. And this was DJI's kind of foray into the pocket, more travel-friendly gimbal, but with a setup that allows you to basically use what you want to use. So right now I'm using the FX30 with the Blazar 35mm Apex autofocus lens. Yes, it is an anamorphic lens, that Apex, which is why we're getting a little bit of that anamorphic flare as there you can see. But this balances on there completely fine. Even with that Sony mic on there, no problem. This is all balancing completely fine. Now, it's been designed, the same as the RS3 Mini had, to work with very popular setups depending on which camera brand you use, including the Canon R5 with the RF 24-70 f2.8, A7S III with the 24-70 f2.8 second version with a cage on it, or a Nikon Z7 Z24-70 f2.8, or a Panasonic S5 with a L20-60 f3.5 to 5.6. That was too much for me to remember, so that's why I had to reference my phone here. Quick little ad break to thank long-term channel sponsor Artlist. If you're a Premiere Pro user, you're going to like this one. This is a new feature they just added. So now on Artlist's website, there's a section called Tools, and you can download the Artlist library extension. If we go directly into Premiere, I've already installed it, and you'll see right here, I have music, sound effects, voiceover, and footage. And that is coming right from Artlist's website. I can literally search for music, so I could search for blues, and it will find blues music. And that just plays from there. And if I like that track, I can literally just drag it and drop it directly into my timeline. But even better than that, click that little button there, and we'll just play this song right here. See how it plays at the same time as my timeline? And then when I pause it, it stops. I go to a different part of the timeline, let's say like here, and play this one. You see how quickly they can just speed up the process of finding music for you? You can do the same thing with sound effects, and you also have that AI voiceover generator in there where you can just generate a voiceover. So let's say, this is my trip to Fire Falls in 2023, I think it was. And then change the accent to British, like I am. and then generate. This is instead of having to go to the website, do this, download it, import it, you know, the way you normally have to do it.
This is my trip to Firefalls in 2023.
You can then just drag that directly into the timeline. And soon you'll see there, you'll be able to do the same thing with stock footage. If you want to learn more or try this out, click on the link down below in the description. Thank you, Artlist, for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the video. Gimbal itself weighs about 880 grams, so it's very pocket and travel friendly in terms of size and weight, and supports up to 2 kilograms if you need an actual like on spec definition of how much it can support weight wise. Now you might be noticing already that the tracking is a little slower. I have it set that way on purpose. You can speed it up in the active track settings, which I'll show you in a second, but this is set to the slowest speed. It just looks a little bit more natural. As soon as you start speeding it up, it looks less natural. So what we're gonna do is pause this tracking, and then I'll show you on the back here how you can change that. So we'll pause. We're going to keep the recording going then. Let's flip to the back. So from your main menu here, you can swipe to the right, and this is your active track settings. So your speed right there, we're on slow right now, as I said. Let's change it to fast, and you can see what that looks like. So we're going to start tracking me again, and now this is fast. And you'll see it keeps up with me a lot easier. We go up and down. It holds on to me with no problem there. And this is what it looks like from that angle. I wanted you to be able to see it both ways. So it's tracking me there. No problem. Let's pause it again a second. Go to the back. So let's change the active track speed to medium. And you'll see that we also have a composition menu in here as well. Keep current framing or center tracking subject, depending on the way that you want to use it. Because the way this is going to work, obviously, is it's going to track me and keep me in the center of the frame at all times. But what you can do, you see this little switch on the side here, what I can do is switch this down, use the joystick to put myself maybe on the edge of the frame like that, and then what that will do is it'll make sure that I'm always on the edge of the frame now instead. You see how it's just stopping on the edge of the frame there if we walk back this way. And if I want to center myself back up, if I put myself back in the center of the frame, now it will keep me in the center of the frame at all times as well. It's going a bit high there. Let's go down a bit. There we go. Now right now it's set to pan, tilt, follow, so it's just going to follow me around wherever. But if you change this to just pan, follow, now it won't have any of that up and down movement. So if I go down, it's not going to track me. There's no way for it to do that. It's only going to go left and right. And you'll see when it finds me again there, it's a little bit jarring sometimes, but that's just going to be something we have to get used to for what this can do. That's basically how the tracking works. It's very straightforward, very easy to use. You can edit the settings on the gimbal itself on the RS4 Mini with its screen, or you can go into the DJI RONE app I've got right here, and then you're able to go in and just change all the settings the same way that you normally can with a DJI gimbal. Now, other improvements that they've made over the RS4 Mini right here, I'm just gonna walk around as I do this so you can see all in real time how it still works, how it continues to work. I don't need to go out and shoot anything special for this. This isn't going to be something that everyone uses, but you can use it for shooting people the same way that you can for just filming yourself. So if we compare the RS4 Mini to the RS3 Mini in terms of charging, it's a 30% more efficient charging process, and you can get up to 5 hours of use out of a 30-minute charge. The battery capacity has also been increased 30% as well. Big gripe with the RS3 Mini, and if you want to watch my full video on this one, you can do so up there. The plate that you put it on didn't have the little tiny knob that all of the RS3, RS4 gimbals have. That's one of the big things they've done with this. They've taken all the design inspiration from the RS3, the RS4. So you've got that fine tuning knob there, which allows you to really dial in the exact weight, kind of more with finesse. It's a little bit easier to do than just sliding it backwards and forth. And a big complaint that everyone had with the RS3 Mini, because it came out after the RS3, is that it didn't have those auto locks. And so yes, this does have the auto locks as well. And if I click it once, it will auto lock. You probably heard it click there. And I can click it again to unlock it. And I can click and hold it to turn the entire thing off. And then I can click and hold it again to turn it back on. And this is how quick it can go from being off to tracking me. Just like that. Easy as that. Now the little function dial I showed you earlier, the one on the side right here, as well as giving you the ability to reframe yourself depending on where you want to be in the frame, what you can also do is I can flick this up and then use this to zoom in and out. if I wasn't already recording. So if you had a focus motor attached for whatever reason, or with Sony, you can use it with clear image zoom as well. Now switching this one, the RS4 Mini, to vertical mode was always a little bit of a pain. What they've done with this is basically the same as what they've done on the RS4. The same method that you change going from horizontal to vertical, it's exactly the same. I'll have to swap to a different angle to show you. I do have the camera off just to make it a little bit easier to show you. You'll see down here, there is a little lock and unlock. So if you twist this so it's unlocked and then loosen it a little bit, you can now push in and remove this. And then these pins right here are going to go in this gap right here. So try and show you this. Push that in there like that, and then lock this off. And then now you're in vertical mode. And then to go back, you just unlock this, push this in, pull that out, and then you can push that back in, lock it in. So very simple. You just need to rebalance each time you go from vertical to horizontal. You still got that nice big touch screen on the back there, which has exactly the same kind of intuitive UI that the other DJI gimbals have. The RS4 Mini's one was a little bit different. This is much more on par with what you are used to. So all of these little improvements basically mean this is a much more refined RS4 Mini, which is already a good gimbal for travel, but now this is like the ultimate gimbal for travel, really. Especially if you're a solo creator, content creator, and you want to be able to walk around in the frame and have it track you. This is going to be probably one of the ones you want to look at.
Forgot to mention this earlier, but this video is not sponsored by DJI in any way. They just sent this through for me to actually create some vertical content for them over on my Instagram, which you probably have already seen. And if you haven't, then it means you're not following me. So head on over there, which will be down below for you. That's that. I guess I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Just wait for this to end.